In the heart of Stockholm on September 23, 2009, a robbery took place that would go down in history as one of the most daring and meticulously planned heists ever. A gang of thieves decided to rob a cash storage warehouse so secure it was considered impregnable. This fortress, belonging to the G4S money depot, held around $150 million, with over 150 surveillance cameras, 20 armed guards, and bulletproof barriers. Breaking in seemed impossible. But these criminals had a different plan, one that involved a helicopter and an audacious rooftop entry. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Sweden was notorious for its frequent bank robberies and thefts. Criminals often targeted banks, armored trucks, and ATMs, leading to military operations to curb the crime wave. Yet, despite the severity of these crimes, Sweden's justice system often handed down surprisingly lenient sentences. This leniency emboldened criminals, who would serve a few years in prison and then return to their illicit activities. However, the G4S warehouse was considered unbreachable until the mastermind Goran Biovic came along. Goran Biovic, originally from Montenegro, was living in Sweden and seemed an unlikely criminal. Always impeccably dressed and driving luxury cars, Goran had no prior record of robbery, but he dreamed of immense wealth, and he believed the key was the G4S warehouse. With meticulous planning and an eye for exploiting weaknesses, he set his sights on the seemingly impregnable fortress. The question arises, how did Goran, an ordinary man, know so much about the building's design and security measures? Some speculate he had an insider providing detailed information, but this remains unconfirmed. By May 2009, Goran had decided that the heist would take place 4 months later, giving him ample time to plan every detail. He chose September 23, 2009, because the warehouse would be particularly flush with cash, ready to be distributed to banks and ATMs for employee salaries on the 25th. Realizing he couldn't execute such a complex heist alone, Goran sought out a team. The first recruit was Charles Bello, known as the Teacher. Charles, of Syrian descent, was a dual-life individual, one of Sweden's most elusive criminals, and a respected football coach. He had fled war-torn Syria to Sweden and became entangled with Stockholm's biggest gangs, mastering the art of theft. When Goran pitched the heist to Charles, he readily agreed. Charles's expertise in robbery was invaluable, and he took on the responsibility of assembling the rest of the gang. They quickly realized that traditional entry methods were futile. Instead, they identified the building's bulletproof glass roof as a potential weak point. Breaking through this glass required immense physical strength, so Charles enlisted Safa Kazem, an Iraqi boxer known for his brawn and smarts, nicknamed the Strong. The trio, Goran the Mastermind, Charles the Teacher, and Safa the Strong, knew they needed to breach the building's bulletproof glass wall and the formidable metal door guarding the money. To handle this, they brought in Michael Seagren, a Swedish explosives expert. Michael's skill with dynamite would be crucial in blowing open the metal door without damaging the money inside. However, the gang still needed a way to reach the building's roof. Traditional getaway vehicles were out of the question. They decided to use a helicopter, but they faced two significant hurdles. They didn't own a helicopter, and they had no pilot. Charles reached out to Milan Savu, a Serbian gang leader, who promised to find a pilot in exchange for a share of the loot. Milan introduced them to Alexander Eriksson, an experienced pilot who agreed to join their daring plan. On the fateful day of September 23, 2009, the gang sprang into action. Early in the morning, Charles and Alexander stole a helicopter from a Swedish airbase. The rest of the gang gathered their equipment and prepared for the heist. As the G4S employees worked late into the night, counting money to be distributed, they were startled by the sound of a helicopter. To their horror, masked individuals landed on the roof. As panic set in among the employees, they called the police, but the gang's meticulous planning ensured everything went smoothly. Goran, directing the heist remotely with burner phones, kept communication tight to avoid police interception. The gang swiftly broke the glass ceiling, descended to the 5th floor, climbed to the 6th floor, and used dynamite to blast open the metal door. The terrified employees hoped for a swift police response, but the gang's efficiency was unmatched. Within 25 minutes, the gang had executed the heist, far exceeding their initial 10-minute target. Despite police efforts to intervene, the gang managed to escape with 20 to 40 million Swedish kroner, approximately $3 to $10 million. The police quickly offered a reward for information leading to their capture. Through meticulous analysis of DNA and phone records, authorities eventually arrested Goran, Charles, Safa, Michael, and Alexander. They received varying prison sentences but were eventually released. The aftermath of the heist led to significant improvements in Swedish cash storage facility security, resulting in a 25% reduction in robberies since 2010. Despite the gang's initial success, their surprisingly lenient sentences raised questions about the effectiveness of the punishment. This incredible story of daring, meticulous planning, and execution remains a fascinating chapter in the annals of criminal history. If you enjoyed this tantalizing tale of crime and cunning, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. We have more captivating stories for you. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.